A bit of a secret weapon. Oh, nice footwork from Cluster Quack.
Wake in closing that door down on him, so he controls the background.
Now going backwards on one foot, he kept the skip.
Does have it head-to-head against Giants for Team Wales. It's also a draw. Ashby mowing his way through that match.
30 seconds. He's going to get on Chile. Another opportunity here to add more points. Chile. Felipe now finding that outside. He's going to get it first.
I really enjoyed watching this game.
Talk about a difference.
With all five.
I cannot believe what has just happened.
Good morning and welcome back to the Men's Roller Derby World Cup 2016 live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My name is Panda and, well, an incredible 3 days of roller derby that we have had here so far. On track one this morning, we are going to start with our very first game, which is Team Japan versus Team Chile. And Japan came out of a huge win yesterday, 304 points, the Netherlands 138. That is going to be an incredible game. If we can get the graphics on the screen, we'll talk through the day for you. So we're starting with Japan and Chile on track one, like we already mentioned. Over on track two, we'll have Netherlands and Spain starting for the day. Thanks, guys. So we're starting, we're sort of in the middle brackets there. So Japan and Chile down in the bottom left-hand side. Over on the bottom right is the Netherlands and Spain. And then moving up to the right, we've got Ireland and Germany at 11 o'clock for 13th place. Puerto Rico, Italy at 11:15 over on track 2, 15th place. Over on track 1 at 1 p.m. we've got Scotland versus Mexico for 9th place. Belgium versus Sweden, 1:15, 11th place game, and that's over on track 2. Remember, this is mountain time here in Calgary, so please do make sure you know what the time difference is wherever you are in the world. And then, of course, we're going to move on to our championship games later on this afternoon. Starting at 3 p.m., we have France-Argentina over on track 1, and that is going to be for 5th place. And then on track 2 at 3:15, we're going to have Finland and Wales, and that's going to be for 7th place game. For 3rd place, over on track 1, where we'll finish the day from here on in, Canada and Australia at 5 o'clock. And then, of course, our championship bout at 7 o'clock, Team USA and Team England. So a matchup that we saw in 2014, but we're going to see it again right here. So we are going to throw over to track 1 because we're going to have our national anthems before we get started for both of the teams here. And I will hand you over to our lovely house announcers. My name's Panda, and I am thrilled to bring you the Men's Roller Derby World Cup 2016 live from Calgary, Canada.
We're about to get started with our first game of the day. It'll be Team Chile versus Team Japan. And right now, if everyone would please rise, we'll have the national anthem of Chile. And now the national anthem of Japan. Well, good morning.
And good morning. Welcome to the fourth day of the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup. We are here for a 17th place bout between Japan and Chile. My name is Picky Fatness, and I am joined here today by Bob Noxious. Bob, what a 3-day span we've seen so far.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, this is only going to get better. I mean, at this point in time, everybody's kind of been sorted out, and these games are all going to be very tight.
Absolutely, and right to the action we go for Team Chile. It is Mancalipe with the star and jamming. Picking up lead jammer quickly is Mancalipe.
Yeah, and right on his tail is going to be number 77, and that is Mancalipe.
Japan has had an impressive run through this year's World Cup, such an improvement from the past 2 years. We'll talk about that during the bout. But Japan strikes first with 1 point on the board. Make that 2.
Yeah, and Chile's first time to the Men's World Cup. South America really being the new burgeoning area for roller derby overall.
Indeed. Mamedo now with are jamming for Chile alongside Harakiri for Team Japan. Strong pack work right off that jam line. Both jammers struggling to get through, but it's Harakiri.
Nice move.
Yes.
Harakiri is he's going to be able to keep his balance even though he's being blocked from the side. Blocker collapses and he is free.
Team Chile working on putting together a wall, but Japan in there to mix it up. 2-wall is passed easily on the inside by Harakiri, who quickly calls it off.
Of course, Biggie, both of these teams with a single win, they are playing for the 17th spot. But, you know, all of that said, both teams have played some really, really intense games, have had some other chances. Of course, very emotional, touching, stirring victory by Japan yesterday, their very first. And I walked up to Bubble to congratulate him, and he just turned to me and gave me a hug and just said, 4 years to get this, you know. And
yeah, it's quite a story. We saw that bout yesterday in which they exceeded 300 points, and the emotions and tears were so genuine on the sideline afterwards. Team Chile sends out Aquiles with the star to jam. He will face off against number 1, U2, who's been quite a hard worker here this year for Japan.
Oh, U2, nice spin move. He's going to get picked up at the front. That's a nice block, but it's not going to hold him for very long.
U2 with that strong push forward, he does clear, as was said, and now on a run for points.
You see U2 on your screen going through turn number 2. He's going to get badgered outside of the, he's going to get badgered out of bounds. He's going to call a jam off while he's got some points he can put up. That's going to be, it looks like it's going to be they're going to give him the whole 5, it appears. It's going to be a 5-0 run, Japan. And here you see it on replay. Nice spin move, and then he ends up actually getting blocked out of bounds just after that.
Making first appearance on the track for Chile is Insane. For Japan, it is Kabuki Mono.
And Kabuki Mono is going to be your lead jammer. Really got through pretty well unfettered. Oh! Insane decides to play defense, turns around, throws him his shoulder. A piece of something flies off.
It's where we've seen Insane most of this tournament, and that's blocking, and now using those skills here with the jammer star on his helmet. Kabuki Mono does make it around, and now looking for more.
Oh, Insane thought he had some room on the outside line, didn't last very long. He gets run out of bounds.
That allows Kabuki Mono to pick up another 5 as a track cut penalty will send Japan's Chuck Breaker to the penalty box.
And this is where the difference has really come into play. Their defense has just become so strong. Insult to injury as Insane tries to get back up. The other jammer runs him over.
Low block penalty, though, was called on Kabuki Mono, so this puts us into a roller derby athletics power jam for Insane and Team Chile. Bob, Insane here with an opportunity to get Chile on the board.
Yeah, an opportunity, but I tell you, and this comes into play so many times, but he's out there on a power jam, and his team is letting him fight through. Offensively, they need to make a rush there. He's been struggling way too much to think that he's suddenly going to push through 4 blockers.
Japan has really begun to master that swarming defense of breaking, setting walls
Yes.
and causing chaos. And it's going to be very difficult if your decision is to hang back and let your jammer work.
Yeah. When he's been fighting it for a minute and a half, it's not going to change.
Indeed. Right now we're getting ready to see Harakiri for Team Japan and Cyborg for Chile. Want to take a moment on this official timeout to say thank you to some of our sponsors, beginning with the Nerd Skate with Nerd Skates. We'll talk about them in just a moment as we've got our 5-second call. Again, packed clusters at the early portion of that pivot area, but now drawing back. Both teams actually drawing the jammers back. Nice force out there by Chile's number 88, Toro, but a multiplayer block penalty is going to send a Team Chile blocker, actually two, to the box. Actually, I'm sorry, correction.
A jammer, which is unusual.
Yeah.
It's not something you see very often. Oh, nice cut to the inside. Love the work that he does on the outside to give himself some room, which springs the inside open. Quick feet dashes to the inside of corner 4.
Left to right movement there by Japan's Harakiri to make a final pass. And calls it off. Less than 3 minutes gone here, Bob, and Japan already with 31 on the board.
Yeah, Chile is going to have to make some adjustments because this is starting to get away from them very quickly. And part of it's got to be that transition from defense to offense.
Indeed. Nerd Roller Skates is your dedicated roller skate shop with everything you need for derby, rink, or park. Visit them online at www.nerdskates.com.
And we've got you two out there.
This was a roller derby athletics power start. U2 picks up the lead jammer call. Cyborg is back on the track now and is battling.
Oh, nice nifty moves right there. Yeah, he's able to take advantage of the fact that his blockers have pushed Japan to the outside of turn 1. Tight ropes the inside line, and he's through.
We'll get a replay here. Cyborg on the backside, working against a 3-wall put together by Japan, and a nice assist there by his blockers.
Look at that, yep.
Beautifully done. That's the kind of assist you were talking about earlier, Bob, that Chile needs to incorporate into their gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're waiting to play defense and your jammer's coming around, you gotta do something to spring them free.
Looking to spring free right now is Kabuki Mono for Japan and Mankelipe for Chile. Mankelipe with the forward portion of the track pushing forward.
Nice work.
Very nice work indeed. Gets the lead jammer call for Chile, who wants to turn the tide right now and close this gap.
Nice job of getting his shoulder down and just using that leg strength into the chest of the defense. Nice spin off right there.
5 points on that pass for Chile. Right on that straightaway, you can see the work done there by Mamedo from Chile to slow down the progress of Kabuki Mono.
Oh, Kabuki Mono, awkward fall backward, lost his balance after being spun around.
Bridging back is Chile to create a further distance for Kabuki Mono to have to cover again. We're starting to see Chile settle in and settle down and now executing some nice wall work during this jam.
Yeah, defense doing a much better job. Jammer's still having a hard time against what's been a pretty consistent, nice job right there as we see them running to break things up a little bit, but pretty nice tight walls by Japan, very strong.
Jam comes to a close. Chile, though, with 5 on the board to bring their total to 10. We'll take a look here. Again, nice wall work by Japan. But a little bit of a juke move there is what sprung Mancalipe for the lead jammer call. Next up, we will see Harakiri for Japan taking on Quiltro for Chile.
Oh, dropped like a 3-foot putt. Gets his shoulder right in the chest, ends up going backwards down to the ground.
That was Marmota, and in doing so, Chile once again able to pick up a lead jammer call for their team. Japan ready with a 4-wall braced.
Quiltro are going to end up down on the ground on the inside of the track. He's going to have to come around and recycle himself.
Harakiri able to complete his initial pass, and the jam is called off as a result. Here on the replay, once again, we're seeing Japan's getting their wall set, but Quiltro coming around, looking for some space. Takes the outside path and gets through. Roca for Team Chile. And once again, we're seeing U2 for Japan.
Chile at this point really doing a nice job of just kind of scratching and clawing their way back into this thing.
And again, have been able to limit the point output from Japan in the last few jams. U2 facing off against 2 Chilean defenders, and he's able to make the pass on the outside. Bob, you saw this team 2 years ago, and you've mentioned already that you've seen such improvement. And again, there seems to be more strategy involved in their gameplay and a lot more patience in letting things develop.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, Team Japan, first off, they came so undermanned the first time.
We do have real quick, Bob, we do have a roller derby athletics power jam as a forearm penalty sent Quiltro, the Chilean jammer to the penalty box.
Yeah, and the thing you have to admire about Team Japan is not only have they built themselves up in numbers, but you have to realize that the men's international team pretty much is the men's derby in Japan.
In Japan, yes, absolutely.
So it's not like they've got competition in league play. They're playing against each other most of the time. I mean, Argentina has a bit of that same problem where most of Argentina is represented by the top league in Argentina, and finding any kind of competition or anybody that would play them is very, very difficult. So they play against each other, and of course, if you have weaknesses in your conditioning or anything else, you're not getting the same kind of play you're getting from other teams.
Right.
But Japan doesn't seem to have I don't see the weakness there out of Japan.
Right. They really do have a lot that they've brought to their game and have improved it dramatically. Chile right now trying to keep it close.
Oh, nice duck under 2 of them in a row.
Very nicely done there. Chile now trying to set up a wall in the front portion of the pack. And that jam comes to a close. You know, speaking of Chile making their first appearance here at the World Cup, and again, it's just a matter of experience and more gameplay that will make a difference in a couple of years.
Yeah, I did get to see portions of this team play in Buenos Aires down at the Torneo hard tournament at the Thunder Quads, which is the bulk of the Team Argentina that they had put on. Insane, for instance, one of them. You don't forget a man like Insane.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, there's still plenty of talent down there.
And speaking of talent, it's Kabuki Mona who comes out first, picking up lead jammer for Japan. Insane makes it out of the pack as well. So about a quarter track distance between the two.
Kind of an awkward fall. We don't see any call there, no penalty.
3 points being signaled for Japan, 1 point for Team Chile on that jam. 53 points on the board for Japan, 19 Chile as we approach the halfway point of period number 1 here in this morning bout of day 4 of the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup. Mamedo with the star for Chile. U2 is on the line for Japan. One blocker apiece in the penalty box as we are approaching the pivot line. Big spill there, and it's Mamedo that picks up lead jammer.
Oh, Mamedo, just a little bit of shake and bake. It looked like he was going to get through on the inside. I don't think he quite sold it.
But great upper body strength to push on that 2-wall and make the pass. Anchoring that line for Japan is Honey Badger, who has been quite impressive as a blocker this week.
Living up to the name and reputation of the animal he represents.
Yes. The jam continues, and we have a back block penalty. Honey Badger reporting to the box, as well as Cyborg for Chile. Two-wall on the front side. Pushing through is Mamedo, once again using those strong shoulders to break up that 2-wall.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job of that. That's become such a big deal in Derby now. Because everybody's working on core and leg strength, leveraging people is becoming a standoff. So the difference becomes upper body strength and the ability to move your shoulders to throw people off balance.
During that last bit of play, Naruto picked up a forearm penalty, so he's now in the penalty box, and we're going to see a Team Chile blocker join him. But the jam continues with a 5-point pass for Chile, and Bob, don't look now, but we've got a 9-point differential now as Chile has come roaring back with a 25-point jam. An additional 5 points on the board as Chile with their most impressive jam yet, 30 big points to close the gap to 4 points.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is, that's a heck of a lot of points in a jam. That's going to close up a gap, and that's exactly what they do. I mean, that's not just a 30-point jam. That's a 30-0 run.
Yes, that's as simple as it gets. In that jam, U2 never made his initial pass, and so Team Chile really had it together for that jam. So
I mean, I'm no accountant, but 30-0, 30 sounds better to me.
Words of wisdom from the great Bob Knox.
Right, that's right. That's right, kids. Stay in school.
All right, Kiel throw with the star for Team Chile. Being drawn back, Japan's Kabuki Mono, so defense still on display here from both teams. And it's Chile once again coming out for lead jam and looking to try to surpass Japan this jam. We'll see what happens as it plays out.
Well, and the change in lead jam percentage between these two teams has been the key to a lot of this.
It's sort of the motion in terms of the wall work by Chile being more fluid, being more solid, has really made a big difference in these last couple of jams. Japan, though, right now holding strong.
Well, and sometimes when it comes to lead jam, you just need to know how to accommodate that particular jammer. Granted, it's almost like a set play, and you can only do it so many times.
Right.
But it's definitely enough to get you back into a game before they catch on to it.
Well, speaking of getting back into the game, we have a tie at the 11-minute, 35-second mark. And we also have a team timeout being taken by Japan. Smart move here, I think, as the momentum has certainly shifted.
We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
And we are back. Thank you so much to S1 for their sponsorship. Again, we're here for the Japan-Chile bout. And Bob, we were talking just before the commercial break about the change in tide here as Chile has come roaring back with 34 points there in the last couple of jams, 1 point, 30-0, as you mentioned. And we stand at a tie.
Yeah, it's it's really been almost like a tale of two portions of this half. Japan comes out, they absolutely own lead jam percentage. Defense seems to be almost impenetrable. You know what I'm trying to say.
They can't get through.
Yeah, by 5 o'clock tonight, I could probably pronounce that, but right now, forget it. Then all of a sudden, we see the switch. Lead jam, Chile hitting the lead jams.
Yeah, Japan is ahead 8-5 on lead jams, but those 5 came in the last recent few jams, so Chile really has made a difference here. 2 all in the front by Chile now, working against Harakiri, who's looking to change the flow of the action in their favor again.
Man, that is just a heavyweight battle up front.
And lead jammer does go to Team Japan, but right on his heels is Team Chile's jammer.
Oh, yeah, that was a silly move, and I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But I think Boss Sarita, I don't know if he lost his balance, but it was a weird push in the back because it wasn't like he came up and tried to push him out of bounds. It looked like he was losing his balance and caught him.
Well, the call did end up being a back block, as you say, and now we've got a roller derby athletics power jam and a huge hit sending Harakiri into the wall.
That's the first boarding call we'll have today.
Jam is called off after 5 points. We'll take a look and see what we've got here on the replay. 3-wall there by Chile on the right side of your screen. Harakiri looking for a pass on the outside.
Now watch this. Red-headed guy just off to about 5 feet. He was gonna get plastered. Yeah. Dude, welcome to Derby in your face.
That's the way we like it. That's why we're within the glass.
Yeah,
we're not on the outside.
Exactly.
That darn hockey. 63-53 for Team Japan. They did get the power star, but Capitan Basurita's back on the track. Lead jammer is Team Japan's U2.
Yeah, actually, he's been really consistent.
Yes, he has. Jam continues. U2 passing on the outside, but I believe he picked up a 4-hour penalty. So now we have a roller derby athletics power jam for Team Chile.
Yeah, there were just too many Chilean bodies laying on the ground when he went through. You figured something had to have happened. And that's going to be an unfortunate mistake right there.
5-point grand slam pass.
There we go. Chile's going to make some room for him. They open up the inside lane by pushing Japan to the outside. And they need to keep doing this. Take advantage of that full 30 seconds. Maximize the points on the board. Oh, that time he's able to do it by himself. Little assist saying, get out of here, keep skating.
In doing so, Chile has now taken the lead by 5, but they continue to be on this power jam, so looking for more.
Oh, look at that. Well done positional block. Oh, what was?
High block on Mecánico was sent into the box.
But it was a soft high block.
There is a difference. Chile with a 20-point jam so far. Make that 25 to extend their lead to 15.
He's like, what, do I keep going? Okay, just smiling.
This is the kind of action we've become accustomed to here this week.
And Japan starts to speed things up.
Maybe we can outskate him, they say.
Well, you know, Biggie, this is the honest truth. In all the years that I have done roller derby, when a team has run and gone into chase, I have never, ever seen a team say, you know what, we're going to drop back to a normal speed because the rules allow us to do that. They chase every time.
Sure.
They could get run on 20 times in this thing and they're going to be chased. I'm a little surprised we don't see that speed change more often.
What we do see right now is Kabuki Mono taking on Mamedo. I'm sorry, that's Mancalipe for Team Chile with the star.
And fight. Look at that. Mancalipe's got to find the inside. Way to tiptoe that inside line. The man's got a little Walenda in him.
He really has been impressive this week. Multiplayer block will send Chuck Breaker to the penalty box for Japan. So the blocker advantage 4-3 in favor of Chile. Nice work there by Chile. A track cut being called on Mike Felipe. We're on a roller derby athletics power jam for Team Japan, except now a forearm penalty will change the tide again.
Yeah, that's going to be on Toro, and I tell you, Toro was doing a really nice job up front, preventing the jammer from getting through. He held him for probably about quarter of a track. Must have got a forearm in there towards the end.
Kabuki Mono having some trouble on the backside. We do have an attempt at a star pass here. Meanwhile, a high block penalty on Mancalipe. That's 2 penalties on him in this jam, and we're back to the roller derby athletics power jam for Team Japan. Star pass was completed to number 8 of Japan, Naruto. And now with 1 skater to beat, he is through.
That's a lot of wasted time though, Piggy. I don't really understand why he had 3 guys up against 2 and they just didn't rush him out of the way. That 30 seconds goes by pretty fast if it takes your jammer 15 to get through a wall that you can easily sweep.
We saw that sweep in that last pass, but again, damage done as Chile is at 85 on the replay here. Big hits there being dealt to Japan's jammer. And that's where we saw Mancalipe burst out with that speed to pick up lead jammer. Mamedo now for Team Chile. And he is facing off against Harakiri for Team Japan.
Yeah, it seems like transition is a lost art between offense and defense. That would have definitely put a few more points on the board.
It's really, the evolution of the game that creates such unique scenarios, and some of the tried and true old school methods really are in some cases being lost.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not that they're not being used the same way. It's just that, the physics of the game that will always hold true are overlooked.
Yep.
And strategically, there's such a huge advantage.
Right now, we have been on a roller derby athletics power jam for Team Chile. And Mamedo looking for another pass on the outside and is able to get through, putting up 5 more for Chile.
Well, I tell you, they flipped the switch at about 13 minutes into this game. And this is not the same team that took the line the first thing this morning.
To the tune of a 10-point jam that extends their lead to 20 points, 95 to 75.
But just as important is we see another goose egg up for Japan. There's been a lot of those in the second half of this first period. When your defense is holding the other jammer to 0, it doesn't, even if you're chipping away 4 or 5 points at a time, that's so significant. Looks like they're going to give him another point there for 11.
Insane for Team Chile facing off against U2 for Team Japan. U2 wanting to regain momentum, but it's Insane. It's going to make the pass on the inside. Lead jam goes to Chile once again.
Insane's a guy that's really got some nice footwork. And there you saw that with some space, he was able to use that to get through.
Accelerating through and a nice apex
Look at
jump.
that.
Beautifully done by Insane, calls it off with authority.
And he does it and prevents the score. That's awesome.
Great track presence on his part.
Ladies and gentlemen, tickets available on Air Insane. The flights are short, but the landing is sure to stick.
With that, Chile reaches the century mark at 2 minutes, 25 seconds left in this first period. This has been quite a contest between these two, and now we see Capitan Basuritas jamming for Team Chile. Kabuki Mono for Team Japan. You really have seen the confidence in Chile grow as they are now pushing forward with much more intensity. Force out there on Capitan Basuritas, who's recycled back.
And finally, Japan going to get a lead jam. It's only the second one, and the second or third one probably in the last half of this period. But now they got to do something with it.
That's right, and preventing that is Cyborg and Mr. Sakrem with some nice hits that forced out Kabuki Mono, forcing him to recycle back. Able to make the pass that time for 5, as Japan looks to close this gap in the last few moments of this first period. Completing his initial pass is Capitan Basuritas for Chile. And that jam comes to a close. Want to say thank you to Brown Paper Tickets. Brown Paper Tickets has been supporting roller derby for over a decade. They love this sport and are working to help gear up the Women's League in Lebanon. You can make a difference for Roller Derby Beirut by visiting their donation page at Got Game Need Gear at brownpapertickets.com. That's Got Game Need Gear at brownpapertickets.com. I think you're familiar with that organization, Bob.
Yeah, and that program. It's something we're really, really excited about, having the opportunity to support women's sports in a part of the world where that is not common is really something else. They're very appreciative.
Fantastic opportunity to give back. Right now, wanting to take an opportunity to regain control is Team Japan's Harakiri, as Chile swarms forward, but not enough as he gets through, picking up lead jammer for Japan.
Well, that's another important lead jam. At least going into the halftime, they're going to put a tourniquet on the bleeding. Let's see if they can put some points on the board. It's not going to be much. It's going to be one.
1 point.
That wouldn't be much, but it's one more than the opponent.
That's right.
And my math skills tell me that would be better, wouldn't it?
Chile sitting at 100 now for a couple of jams, 84 for Japan. And we are at halftime here in this bout to determine 17th and 18th place, Japan versus Chile. We will be back with more derby action here at the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup in just a bit.
Just go to any game and you're like, oh, yeah, this is why I do this. I skate for the Linden Roller Girls, and S1 is part of my uniform.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
I don't mind reading them, but I know somebody's probably going to have to go here.
I can't imagine that I'd get more kicks playing golf than I do hitting a and S1 is part of my uniform.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
Cute little smile is just as happy as she always is.
We really miss the feeling of spontaneously visiting a store and trying out the newest gear. Hang out for all roller skaters. Everyone has their own unique style. Because of our large assortment, we can now personalise roller skates while you wait, so you can try them out right away. Our mission is to fit you with the right gear, and don't forget to turn left.
Hip, whip, don't grip, slap the pack. If you block the flock, then I can jam the track. Quads on the floor, stars on the head. Roller derby logbook, the zebra said. Yeah, we rollin', yeah, we rapping for real. Can't feel the back wheels underneath my heels. Up through my spine, penetrating the heart. Calling off the jam till the next jam starts.
Okay, I love to play roller derby because I 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 play roller derby because
Ich spiele Derby hier, weil ich die Action auf dem Spielfeld mag.
I'm competitive, I like energy, I like power and I like the speed.
Omdat ik ervan hou lijp te doen op rolschaatsen. Het is een vet bizarre sport.
Parce que j'aime me donner à fond sur le track et ça me rend heureuse.
Perché non posso farne a meno.
Love at first sight.
I love developing my skills and I love developing new strategies. It's taken me to many new places that I would not have normally gone.
Sophie, jak estou semana por escola.
Soy muy competitive. It is the most unique opportunity to go past your boundaries and try anything and everything that you thought you couldn't do and prove to yourself that you can.
Voljela bih da mogu igrati roller derby i u Hrvatskoj.
When you love to roll and you need the best gear you can get, come to our brick and mortar shop in Amsterdam. Or visit the website at www.thederbyshop.nl. We have it all. The Derby Shop. Because roller derby saved your soul, but wrecks all your gear.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Hi folks, Scald Eagle here. Have you had a chance to take a look at the new Bonk Quad Star skate? The boots are ultra lightweight with no break-in period and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bonk booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
Check it out now. And Ben and Jerry, can I rhyme? Well, you know I get mine. Sitting around in my abstract car, this
And welcome back. We are here on the Nerd Roller Skates track for the second period between Japan and Chile, both teams vying for the 17th and 18th place spot. My name is Piggy Fatness, and I'm here with Bob Noxious.
True
Bob,
that.
It's been a fun first period that we got to watch here.
Yeah, the way it started out, it certainly didn't feel like it was going to go that way. Chile was really out of sorts. Japan really tight, defensively especially. And then all of a sudden, at about 14 minutes in, it's like we saw everything flip. Chile much more fluid with their defense. Jammers all of a sudden in situations where they were able to get through much more offensive blocking, which helped them out. Chile really has been much stronger in the transition from defense to offense. And Japan, I think, really all I think they have to do is get back to the game plan and play their game. The way they started out, you know, there was really, they really had it nailed. And sometimes, you know, it's in sports. That's just sports. Somebody gets in your head and you start to play their game. And I think that's kind of what Japan did.
There were some key moments in the middle portion of that period where I think Team Chile did some things that might have set off Japan in a different direction. I think of the usage of Insane, who we have seen block quite a bit, and now in as a jammer and very, very successful in helping to turn the tide here. In terms of top jammers, we have U2 with 5 lead jams for Team Japan and Harikiri with 4. But in the later portions of that half, Mamedo picked up 3, Quiltro picked up 2 for Chile, and that's really where the tide began to turn. So we'll see what kind of adjustments are made by Japan to get back. And I say get back into this, it's only 16 points, but I think what we mean is there was a definite drop in their intensity.
It was the momentum. You know, the momentum, the confidence, the teamwork, it just all shifted. And that's, you know, the fluidity of a team is obviously, and that chemistry is, so much of it is the synapses going on in your head.
Right.
And not nearly as much about what your feet and everything else are doing. And they just need to get back and keep that stuff in mind. It's always so much, you know, I always say these things, and believe me, in the back of my head, I know it's a lot easier said than done.
Sure.
I never take that for granted. I mean, there's just something wrong about a sport where they tell you to skate like in the direction where you can't see where everybody's coming.
Yeah.
So,
well, from a penalty standpoint, Bob, Chile has picked up 24 penalties and 18 for Japan, and I think those 18, again, latter half of the first period really is where those began to play a role. Right now, if you've just joined us, number one, shame on you, but welcome. You've missed quite a bout here between Japan and Chile. 100 for Chile, 84 for Japan. In black, red for Team Chile. And we are off and running.
And number one is actually you, too, not shame on you. That's why actually you threw me off.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, wow, that's kind of an odd name.
It's Mamedo, though, with the lead jammer call for Chile as they get the first strike here in the second period.
But we got a star pass. And the pivot, number 8 for Japan.
That is Naruto. Now the jammer note for Japan as they are on a roller derby athletics power jam due to a track cut being called on Mamedo.
Yeah, Cyborg had a shoulder into him, but just couldn't drive him to the inside of the track.
All right, Japan in. There's that sweep you've been talking about that they need to do more often is help their jammer out. And what a change in momentum right now. 10 points for Japan as this jam continues.
Oh, that's a nice one-on-one block right there.
It was dealt out by Team Chile's pivot. Naruto continued to push forward against that wall of Chilean blockers, but forced down and has to recover. Completing his initial passes, Mamedo for Chile.
Oh my, there's Cyborg again. And Cyborg, not a big guy, but the technique is, of course, everything is technique. Had himself leveraged just right. Well, apparently more right than he needed to.
Legal procedure being called on Mamedo, so now we've got a roller derby athletic power jam for Team Japan once again.
Yeah, I think that's him taking the strike before contact there. He's skating backwards, you can't just start swinging.
And 5 more points there to make this a 1-point game for Japan. Japan now at 99, Chile at 100 after an impressive first jam. We do have an official review being called.
And this is always an interesting process because, as you know, when it comes to official reviews, roller derby does employ high technology and very specific training. What they do is they all gather around and focus on the one person who made the call and say, think really, really hard. Back to 30 seconds ago. Well, I don't think harder. And then they break out into a sweat, and magically the answer comes out.
So much wisdom today.
Yes,
from
yes.
The legendary Bob Noxious.
You don't need extra cameras or anything else.
Okay. All right, we're going to get an update here in a bit from the official review, so we'll go to the track when it's time. And So we're going to turn it over to the house.
Chile is requesting a review of the points on their jammer before their second penalty.
All right, so Bob, we'll give the officials an opportunity to
Chile
talk this
requesting
out.
this
While
official
we do
review.
that, let's talk a little bit about some more of our fantastic sponsors. Sisu mouthguards. If you've not yet discovered the awesomeness that is Sisu, you must invest in one. These ultra-thin, super strong mouthguards allow you to talk, breathe, and drink. And they look great in photos, so get yours at the Nerd Roller Skates
They're
booth.
amazing. That's absolutely amazing to me.
In fact, we're all wearing one right now.
Well, mine's actually a partial, but that's totally different.
Also, the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup is sanctioned and insured by Roller Sports Canada, providing insurance and support for all Canadian roller sports. Visit them at www.rollersports.ca or on Facebook at RSC Roller Derby.
Any thoughts at all as to whether or not they could bring down my car insurance?
That's something we can look into after this bout is over. So
I could really use that.
that would really round out the whole weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Talk about a successful trip.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Bob, what a great time we've had here in Calgary.
Yeah.
You've been doing this kind of thing for quite a while. Probably the most, understatement or overstatement, I should say.
Let's just say it's been 12 years,
Yeah.
and you can decide if that's long or not long.
But
no, it's long.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But I don't know. For me, second time around, it's just such a highlight in my short career, and it must be a joy every time you get to be part of an event like this and see the world come together.
Oh, yeah. There's no question at all about that, Piggy. And I tell you, we had a department meeting last night, and I told...
I'm going to interrupt you just a moment, Bob, as we go to the house for the official review.
After review, the penalty that the Chile jammer was first issued was a cut, meaning that they had not exited the engagement zone. As a result, they returned back on their initial pass. No points are correct. No call stands.
All right, an
Rev
update
Wright with a clarification.
Yep.
But no, I told everybody that was running various departments as we met last night. First thing I said is, hey, before we get started, I just want you guys to know this is the best run event ever. And they looked at me. I said, no, ever. I said, in 12 years, I have never worked at an event that ran as well as this did. I mean, we had some freaky things happen. Don't get me wrong. The lights went out a couple of times. The stream is going to crash once in a while. Those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm so pleased with everybody who's put work into this. From the people who are running the production on the floor, from what the tournament committee has done, from what the local league has done to support it, to your ref crews, your announcing crews. It's just been so seamless. These types of events for me can be an awful lot of work. And as I've been here this weekend, it's been fun to actually have the ability to say hello to some friends and things like that. Everybody's just done such a great job. It's just been a sheer joy.
Well, all that said, we are going to get back to the track and enjoy some more of it. Kabuki Mono is jamming and picking up lead jam for Team Japan. He's facing off against, it appears to be, it's a Roller Derby Athletics power jam right now, as this was a power start for Japan. Mamedo back on the track now, but 5 points already picked up by Japan for a lead change.
Yep.
104 to 100 as the jam continues.
There we go. There we see the offensive blocking done nicely once again. Opens up the entire inside lane. I don't skate that fast. I think I could have gotten through there.
108 to 100, and Japan looking for more.
Oh, I tell you, Kilturo right there does a nice job of one-on-one of really forcing that jam to be called off and preventing any more points. 12-0 run. That's a good way to get things going.
Chile did manage 1 point, but again, first two jams, and we've seen Japan come out with more blocking intensity and more help for their jammer already. Mancalipe now with the helmet cover facing off against Harakiri for Japan. Forearm penalty on that block by number 29 for Japan, Bob, and he'll report at the penalty box.
Yeah. I'm like, Bob. Oh, yeah, Bob.
We do have a roller derby athletics power jam due to a track cut on Mangalipe, so Japan looking to take advantage in this next 30 seconds. Four wall there by Chile, and here come the Japanese blockers. Oh, just barely missed on that inside. He'll have to recycle back.
Yeah, they had the inside lane pried open for him, but it shut just as he tried to get through. And now they decide they're gonna work the pack split, but with the bridge, it's gonna be pretty hard to happen. I think they decide to focus on defense at that point. And as it turns out, their jammer's gonna get free.
Harakiri on his next approach. Matamota anchoring a four wall there on the front or middle of your screen. Harakiri going right and left, thinks better of it, decides to call it off.
Oh, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. A little fire once in a while saying, hey, guys, where were you? We could have put some more points up on the board. And you know what? I love to see that because you rarely see a jammer turn to their blockers and be like, hey, what went on there?
Yeah.
I needed your help. That was an easy rush. That means the thought process is there, and we're not just going through the motions.
Going through the motions now is U2 for Japan, Insane for Chile, but we do have a forearm penalty now that opens the door for Chile to pick up a roller derby athletics power jam. Insane clears the pack with authority.
Yeah, it finds a little room on the inside. Really not a lot of resistance.
Japan loses a blocker, and that's their pivot due to a track cut penalty.
Yeah, Insane there. He gets through the heaviest part of the blocking as he hits the two wall. Takes it way too far to the inside. Really probably need to take that up the center and try to split it.
Another blocker for Team Japan reporting to the penalty box due to a track cut. So right now, advantage Chile in terms of blockers on the track. U2 trying to push through a solid wall of red and gets forced to the infield and back. Insane continuing his run. He is in a zone.
Yeah, he has been. And he's got some nice foot speed. He's had a couple of bursts to get by some hip checks.
Insane putting up 4 more on that pass to bring the total for this jam to 14. Both jammers now back on the track. Again, pack speed is so brisk.
That's why I just had to laugh. It's Insane. Nothing. He's not doing anything right, but he's trying to call a jam off while he's absolutely crushed.
Well, through that crush, he has managed to bring his team back into the lead after a 17-1 jam. 118 Chile, Japan 117. Listen, you got to get me up early in the morning. It's got to be for a good reason, and this bout is a very good reason. I had a little bit of a late start yesterday, but boy, I'm glad I'm here.
Well, I'll tell you, I got a 16-year-old that's up at 6 every morning. He's nuts.
Yeah. Heel throw now for Chile. And it is Kabuki Mono for Japan. There you see on your screen, nice work defensively by Chile. Bridge being pushed forward as Kabuki Mono really has that strength to push through and does get the lead jammer call.
Yeah, keel throw, a little bit of trouble trying to get through turns 1 and 2. He's able to make up for it in the backstretch. He's through the pack. He's not going to be your lead jammer. And they're going to call the jam off, protect the points. Even though we're going to get goose eggs on that, as Bulldog informed me of a term he's been taught, which means that was a pointless jam.
Kabuki there picking up his 4th lead jam. The jammers for Japan really spreading the workout evenly and doing some nice work to stay in this. 1 point differential still as we get Jam.
Oh, look at that.
number 6
Japan
underway.
with the star pass right off the bat. And the cool thing about it was so many times we see that pass over the top of the line of blockers. This was around the outside, the left outside blocker. Nobody saw it, and he was gone.
You know, I don't know about this decision here by Insane. He's got such good speed, but he decelerated and just waited to see or to make the call off. Again, I'm not one to judge, but that seemed like he might have been able to close the gap and maybe overtake. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Those decisions are hard to know. Probably would have come close, but there would have been no harm.
There's that little underneath pass of the star that you were mentioning, Bob. So
no, there certainly wouldn't have been. There would have been nothing wrong with them, with him at least trying to close that up and see what happened.
Yeah, we do have a lead change. 119 for Japan, 118 for Chile, and a lead jammer call now for Japan's U2.
And U2, who has gotten a lot of reps.
Track cut penalty being called on Mancalipe. Roller derby athletics power jam now for Japan. 3-wall on the front side there by Chile. And a fourth blocker now in play to help out.
Oh, man. Toro just, he's I don't know, he's standing up to it, but that man's going to have sore ribs come the end of the day.
Toro, strong like bull.
Yeah. Exactly.
5-point pass there by Japan. And the jam comes to a close.
Wow, I haven't heard that one in a long time. That was a good pull there, my friend.
U2 has picked up his 6th lead jam for Japan. Again, the point differentials here kind of belay the fact that Japan's jammers are doing so well coming off that line.
Yeah, it's and it's been a combination of things. I mean, the creativity of the star pass, you know, and pulling things like that too. All of a sudden, it makes your opponent have to think about whether or not you're going to try that again.
Right. Lots to think about strategically, and lots to think about for Chile, because I've just received word from our producer Snuggins that Mamedo is on his 6th penalty, Bob. So we'll keep an eye on that for Chile.
That would be a tough loss for them.
Right now, it's Kabuki Mono picking up the lead jam call for Japan. Last couple of jams, momentum has been in favor of Japan. Inside line pass there. One solid shoulder block from Gilder brings that to a halt.
Kabuki Mono, I like it. I love you can see the competitiveness in every movement he makes, and when he's done with a jam, if he's happy with it, you can see it.
Yeah.
If he's not, he's stamping his feet.
Yeah, that's the kind of energy you want from everyone on your team.
Well, you need leaders, and,
yes.
and you need emotional leaders. And
speaking of,
nice work. Insane totally catches him by surprise.
Yeah, a little bit of a good morning tap there by Insane.
Oh, and he's through on the outside. Nice job, nice move.
4 lead jams now for Insane, and that one came with a bump. You've got to believe, Bob, that there's some mental games there being played, as you're going to hit your jammer out and then take lead jam, and once again, deceleration here. 4 points on that last pass.
Well, I think it was pretty evident nothing was going to happen.
Yeah.
The only thing I question is why kill any seconds when you're behind?
Sure.
You know, time management has not been roller derby's strength. And I think the better coaches are often coaches who either have played, coached, or are avid fans of other sports. And we're going to have an official review here.
Official review was called by Team Japan, so we'll look forward to an update on that.
But yeah, just to elaborate on that a little bit, I think the use of timeout, it's getting better. The use of timeouts is starting to make more and more sense. you know, the use of the official timeout is almost or the official review is almost a fourth timeout when needed, has made sense. Actually, when we saw Argentina win last night, Wales had an official review left that they didn't use.
Yeah, we'll go to the house.
Penalty on the Chile jammer on the initial pass on the outside.
All right, so officials will discuss. There's so many, back to what you were saying, Bob, so many nuances to this game, and just, you know, it's in the details now in terms of how the gameplay plays out. I do want to take a moment to talk about the Men's Roller Derby Association and the fact that they're excited to announce that its 2016 championships will be held in Texas, a place I'm very familiar with.
Yes,
the
you are.
Lone Star Showdown will be held at the Nitech Sports Center in beautiful North Richland Hills, Texas, on October 15th and 16th, 2016, and will be hosted by Texas Men's Roller Derby. This two-day single-track event will feature the top 10 ranked MRDA teams as determined by the MRDA. Visit champs.mrda.org for more information.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that is a rare tournament. It's a great tournament.
Yeah.
But the MRDA has gotten to the point where they bring 10 teams in, and all
On
10
review,
teams
the
have a
initiator of
shot.
the block also stepped out, so no cut will stand.
All right, so the decision there, no cut committed. And we will get set to get back to the action. So, yeah, we're definitely in tournament mode now here at this latter portion or second half of the year.
Yeah.
And why not start with this one? Men's Roller Derby World Cup here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Mamedo on the track. We mentioned earlier he does have 6 penalties, so we'll keep an eye out, see what happens here. U2 for Japan. Empty penalty box. And Mamedo quickly out for lead jammer. Three wall by Japan on the front. Mamedo careful as he comes in.
Yeah, he does want to pick up that 7th.
And a nice pass there. He used that hip to kind of make some space for himself and then moved forward through. 5 points. 4th lead jam for Mamedo. As Chile has closed the gap to 1 and now has taken the lead once again. Back and forth we go, Bob, here between these two teams. Mamedo with another 5 points on that pass to bring Chile's total on this jam to 15.
Little air Mamedo there.
Yep.
I think he had a little space, but he wanted to have a little fun.
These points coming in such quick bursts by Chile as Mamedo circles the track so quickly. There was an illegal star pass, so U2 still is the jammer on the track for Japan. And now we have a roller derby athletics power jam for Team Chile. Mamedo pushing through, picks up 4.
Yeah, I tell you, that's a long minute that U2 has been sitting down.
All right, jam comes to a close. We'll get a update here. 24 points, and just like that, Chile now taking an 18-point lead.
Yeah, not only do they get a great jam out of Mamedo, and you can see, watch his pass there. That's air Mamedo. By the way, there is no beverage service on that flight. It's too short.
Back to the track we go. So right now, Insane will be our jammer for Chile. Kabuki Mono for Japan. And we've got full blocking lines out for both teams. So the speed with which these points are coming up on the board, Bob, with 15 minutes left, Japan still with an opportunity here to, again, close the gap. They've shown they can do it. We'll see what plays out in the next few minutes.
Yeah, this has not been an unusual point fluctuation for this game.
Insane on the inside, battling hard, but is really at a standstill, and a nice force out there. by Naruto. Bridging back is Honey Badger. Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, you see Team Chile bridging forward slightly, that wall holding on the front side against Kabuki Mono.
That's an ill-advised. That is the one thing about some of the young men's teams is the ill-advised apex jump. Not only sometimes is it just not going to work, but they put themselves. That was not dangerous, but sometimes they put themselves in the scenarios where they hurt their own teammates or the other team. You can't just make that jump because you can or rely on it.
High block penalty has shortened the blocking line for Chile by 1. And as that jam comes to a close, Japan able to put 3 on the board as we're now at 14 minutes and the clock is running. Here in the second period of this first bout of day 4, Japan versus Chile, they will determine the 17th and 18th spot finishes for this tournament. And Mamedo with the star for Chile facing off against Harakiri. Mamedo testing the outside, now center, trying to move left, but that Japan wall is so hard to move. But now he's pushed forward on one blocker and has gotten the pass and the call.
I tell you, it's kind of interesting that he's getting the reps that he's getting with the foul trouble that he's got. But he's been careful.
Yes, he has. Still using that sort of square shoulder approach to get through the pack, and as long as he keeps those elbows in, he's going to be safe.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the key to that is you got to dip one of those shoulders just as you get close enough, because that's how you move people. You hit somebody square and you just kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah. Simple physics.
We got a timeout. Is that going to be was that a team timeout, I believe?
Yes, team timeout.
And
S1.
S1. S1. S1.
S1. S1 is part of my uniform.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Nerd Roller Skates track here at the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup. I am Piggy Fatness, and I'm joined by Bob Noxious in what has been a back-and-forth bout right now with Chile taking the lead at 150 to 131. And Bob, we've seen this ebb and flow go back and forth, and so we're still not anywhere near done.
yeah, absolutely not. When you take a look at 19-point spread, that's really just a matter of a jam, especially when we have seen both teams put up 20-plus points in a jam already.
Last jam saw Chile get 4-0 for Japan, and penalty count has been a key here. 27 for Japan, 37 for Chile, and so again we'll keep an eye on how that continues to impact this bout. Right now, a track cut penalty is going to send Chile's jammer number 8 to the penalty box. That's Cyborg. So a roller derby athletics power jam now for Japan.
And has he jammed before?
He's had a few. He's picked up his 4th penalty, but he's also been blocking a lot. But Cyborg has had some jams. High block penalty now being called. And we'll see. Yep, that's on the jammer for Japan. So we will get a switch out here as U2 approaches the penalty box.
Yeah, Achilles, he's also going to get sent off. He went in there to try and run some interference. Didn't see what the call was exactly, but guessing it was probably a forearm or back block.
Heel throw in to help out, was trying to open the outside, but the Cyborg went to the inside lane and was slowed down. There you can see the work done by Kiltro to try to clear space for his jammer.
There we go. What do you have to say? You don't have to say anything more than you too.
Air you too that time, I would say. Strong pass on the inside, puts up 4 for Japan.
He's a nice player. I really like his build and his athletic skills. He's got that great combination of nice footwork, lateral movement, decent speed, and strong.
Very, very strong. Chile picking up 4 on that last pass, 154 to 140. As we're approaching the 10.5-minute mark, jam comes to a close with 5 more points being put on the board for Japan. Here we go with a replay from earlier.
You know, somebody's got to tell us. Oh, there we go.
And there's the jump.
Somebody needs to tell Cyborg that he's not 6'5", 300 pounds. Because, boy, he sure plays like it.
He does. Again, confidence being showed in Mamedo by Team Chile as he continues to jam for them with 6 penalties. Kabuki Mono for Japan. Out of play call there will send a Chilean blocker to the penalty box. Chile with the lead jammer call. Again, nice work there by Chile. 3-wall on the front side. A forearm penalty will send the Team Japan pivot to the box.
It's not the prettiest, most fluid work by the blocking crew, but they somehow managed not to break apart and let them through. It's scrappy, and I love it. I think it's just terrific.
It makes for exciting gameplay indeed.
Well, sometimes it just takes a while to master certain techniques, but heart can take you a long way, and those guys are just they are fighting with so much heart.
Yes, they are. Roller Derby Elite, the brand that defines the sport. They are a platinum sponsor of Team USA Roller Derby. Roller Derby Elite, level up. Speaking of Team USA, we will see them this evening vie for the Spirit of Derby trophy in the final of this Men's Roller Derby World Cup. They will take on Team England in that final. Right now, Roca for Chile and Harakiri for Japan. Inside line, open, and yes.
Oh, yeah, he gets it.
Harakiri does pick up that lead jammer call.
Wow, it was, from our angle, very difficult to tell if he was able to keep his feet in bounds.
And right now we have what appears to be a jammer penalty. No, yes, it is a jammer penalty, high block for Roca. And so Japan now with an opportunity on this Roller Derby Athletics Power Jam. Revving up the crowd is Harakiri for Japan. 5 points, the difference between these two teams, as once again, Bob, we're seeing that flow change, and we have a tie game.
And there was kind of an example of the blocking I was talking about. The two guys didn't stay together. They both leveraged kind of individual hits. It didn't work the first time. Second time around, it was the knockout punch, and that's going to force a jam call. Oh, he's
slow to get up.
Yeah, he's holding his face. He took 2 shoulders, and I think what happened was on the first hit, it kind of got him bent over, and he took the second hit just incidentally in the face.
Well, we will hope that he's okay. What is evident, though, is that work he did, which we're not going to be on an official timeout, put 14 on the board for Japan, and now they have taken the lead. And
unbelievable.
Really, that's really the only word for it. 159 to 155, Team Japan. An update on penalties sees Roca at 6 as well. So 2 Chilean players with 6, and yet they still are playing with, I want to say wild abandon, but it's not quite that. There's a controlled sense to it.
No, you're right.
But they're putting it all out there.
Yep.
And but very, I think
it's scrappy, like we said before. It's
there's something to the pace that these two teams love to play at.
Yep.
And the intensity that they bring to the track, and it's made for some fantastic scenarios here over the last 2 periods of gameplay, and only 4 points separates these teams.
Well, Japan has definitely played a technically more solid game.
Yes.
And potentially that certainly works in their favor. And should they win this game, I think that's really going to be the difference between the two teams and what puts Japan on top. If Chile wins, it's just going to be pure passion and heart, and the ability to keep scrapping, and the ability to keep their, they're scrappy, but they're not losing their heads. I mean, we're taking a look at a jammer out there who's got 6 penalties on him, but hasn't pulled a single penalty in the second half. That's pretty amazing.
It really is.
And I don't know for certain, but he's either their first or second in points, I would imagine, for the game. So he's been and he was really the one that sparked. Mameto is certainly the one that had sparked the comeback in the first half.
We're ready to get back to the action on the track. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about how you can help choose one of our MVPs, as we will be recognizing a lot of the talent here this week. But first, we'll get to this jam, which will feature U2 from Team Japan. This is a roller derby athletics power start. Potential power jam here for Japan. 2 blockers on the track for Chile is going to make this a difficult defensive situation, but here come some blockers out of the box. Roca also back on the track. Actually, we are back at full strength for both teams.
Nice move right there. It's amazing how some of these guys have mastered that stationary or almost backward-looking hop. To pull. Oh, had tone, pulled the trigger.
But Uma-san.
Yep, that was a little bit of reckless abandon right there.
4 points there for Japan. As we were saying a moment ago, you will have an opportunity to help choose one of our MVPs in the Quad Skate Shop Team of the Tournament. This year's Quad Skate Shop Team of the Tournament will now include a fan favorite award as chosen by you. So be sure to check out their Facebook page to vote for your favorite.
I was just told something interesting during the halftime, and that is the Calgary Tower tonight is going to be lit in blue and red in honor of the World Cup.
That is fantastic. All right, penalty update here. Well, let's get back to the track for just a moment, and we'll watch Kabuki Mono in action as a direction of play penalty sends Captain Basuritas to the penalty box for Chile. And lead jammer call goes to Kabuki Mono, but Insane right there in the mix. Again, Pack moving quickly.
He might have gotten a point out of that. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he sure did.
I understood the logic, though. He was trying to run another 10 seconds or so off the clock.
I think that moment defines, for me at least, what we have seen throughout this entire bout. It's just you're going to gut it out and make everything possible happen, because these points have been coming in such quick bursts. 163 to 156, Japan in the lead as we get right to 5 minutes left in the second period. Mamedo back on the track for Chile. He is facing off against U2 for Japan. Forearm penalty sends a Japan blocker to the box. And lead jammer does go to Mamedo for Chile. That's 6 times now he's been the lead jammer. And to your point earlier, Bob, incredible given the fact that he's been saddled with 6 penalties for quite a while now.
Well, that's like putting your best three-point shooter out on the floor in the basketball with only 1 foul left, and putting him out there the better part of the second half. You don't see things like that very often. You don't see them go well when they do very often. But yeah, Mamedo certainly has played within himself and within the boundaries.
And we have a timeout being called by Team Japan. So we'll go to commercial break.
S1.
S1.
S1. S1.
S1. S1 is part of my uniform.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
And welcome back to the Nerd Roller Skates track. Sisu Mouth Guards, one of our many sponsors that we have to thank for helping us put together this event. This was a team timeout for Japan that's been taken, and when we get back to the action, for Team Chile will be insane with the Jammer helmet cover. And we'll look to see who is fielded by Japan. It appears to be Kabuki Mono. Under 4 minutes left in what has been a very exciting bout. Only 5 points separates these two teams.
Well, and I tell you, the timeouts are a factor now. Japan all out of timeouts. Chile holding on to all three.
And holding on to lead jammer is Insane, who has been insane on the track today.
Yeah, it didn't start out that way. He had a rough first 10, 15 minutes, but ever since then, he's seen nothing but success. Although right now, he's got himself a pretty good fight out there.
Japan with a beautiful bridge back and forcing the call off. 2 points, though, do go on the board for Chile, 163 to 160. And we will reset for our next jam.
And it didn't take long before that 6 minutes and seconds is now down to right under 3 before they get started here. And now it gets serious.
And in that, continuing to show confidence in Mamedo as he is out there jamming for Team Chile, facing off against U2. These two have had quite the battle here throughout this bout. And there's the call. We have U2 lead jammer, but a track cut penalty on Mamedo.
That's going to be, that should be it
for him, yes. So Pack scrambling, but U2 able to force his way through, lowers that shoulder and makes the pass, puts up 5, giving Japan a little bit of breathing room. Valued at 8 points, 168 to 160 after those 5 points that he just put up. Chile trying to put that wall together, but right there we see Japan's blockers come in and bust it up, allowing for another strong pass. Under 2 minutes now, and again, as we said, Mamedo did pick up number 7, so that will be it for him. But I'll tell you, there's penalties, and then there's what I would like to call impact penalties, where you work hard, you take your shots. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and Mamedo will be out of this bout. 13-point lead for Japan.
Well, you know, and once in a while too, you know, people have a tendency to forget that there are players that purposefully, I'm not saying Mamedo has.
We're going to get I'm sorry, Bob, we're going to keep an eye on, because it looks like he's still active, so we'll keep an eye on what's happening here as he is on the track, so we'll get an update. Harakiri working against a 3-wall, calls off the jam.
And we're going to get a replay right here. This is going to be right off the start. He disappears, and there he goes. Look at that nice cutback, and then back to the outside.
And more great support from Naruto to open up that inside portion of the track. We have a timeout now, Chile, so let's go to commercial.
We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
All right, welcome back, and you come back. Well, we're on a replay. I was fooled by a replay. That was bound to happen eventually. Here with us at the Roller Derby World Cup for men. Back from timeout, Insane with the star Kabuki Mono for Japan. 14 points, which in a situation like we've been watching, for Chile might seem like a mountain, but boy, they've shown they can score in quick bursts, so we're going to keep an eye here. 43 seconds on the clock.
Well, let's see how they manage this. Basically, what they have to do is they need to get lead jam.
Yes.
If Insane comes around and he's got nothing there, they need to call it off and take the timeout and reset.
Insane forcing out Kabuki Mono.
No, this is exactly,
yeah.
That's a bad mental decision right there for a man who has played really, really well. He just killed about 13 seconds that they don't have.
Japan bridging back as time is ticking away here. Insane will go back and rethink that.
That's going to be talked about, I would imagine.
No, indeed. Japan, though, still trying to break through on the front side.
He's got moments, but not enough.
Track cut now being signaled.
Now he can put up points, but he's not going to be able. They're not going to be able to stop play.
Well,
no.
It is a roller derby athletics power jam for Team Chile, so it's still possible. Insane, though, having to work against a three wall there on the front, gets forced to the infield. Crushes seconds ticking past. Again, the blockers for Chile hanging back.
Well, they're going to. Looks like a high block.
And that was after
with the head.
Yeah, and after a star pass that went to Mancalipe. So.
And that's going to wrap it up.
That was going to be my next line, indeed, Bob.
Sorry.
No. I mean, hey, we're on the same page here. Chile with a valiant effort here at the tail end.
Just some really, really poor time management. Not the coach's fault. Insane with a bad decision. It's not to say they were going to win or lose, and it doesn't take anything away from the fantastic game that he's had. But as he grows in his derby career, he will learn that that's the kind of thing that not the right time for it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a great game.
Yeah, and an outpouring of emotion on both sides. As you can see there on screen, Team Japan has come to the Roller Derby World Cup for the second time, and boy, what a difference 2 years makes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, to show up with experience, with a bench. The thing that impresses me is so many of these guys are here for the first time.
Right.
And you know that they've had potentially nobody else to play against.
Right.
And yet the level of play that they have brought has far surpassed the resources and the ability to practice against others that is available to them.
Right. Credit also, Bob, to Team Chile. First appearance here at the Roller Derby World Cup. And again, a lot of pride, national pride for them. And gave us some fantastic moments throughout the weekend and even today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a first-time participant, it's certainly nothing to hang their heads about.
So as we sit, it's Chile with 160 and Japan with 174 in the placings. That will put Team Japan at 17th, and so much this weekend of their improvement evident. And I know that this will only continue to get better and better for them as they take their lap. And, you know, I'll tell you, Bob, it's been an exciting bout.
Yeah, absolutely. Chile's got a bright future ahead of them. There's roller derby is really starting to grow there. They're going to come back next time, and they're going to be dangerous. And we're seeing that from all the South American teams. And it's really been, and the South American teams are so passionate. It's so much, you know, as the Japanese are. I mean, after these wins, I think people even if they weren't fans of Argentina, I think they've been down there jumping around the floor with them because it's just, you know, there is so much pride, so much excitement, so much passion for the sport.
It's what it's about. It's why we do what we do. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here for this first bout of Day 4. Continue to stay with us here at the 2016 Men's Roller Derby World Cup. I've been Picky Fatness. This has been
Bob Noxious.
Bob Noxious. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back with more Derby action here in just a bit.
Nerd Roller Skates is your dedicated quad roller skate shop in Calgary, Alberta.
Being a nerd is about being really excited and really passionate about a really specific thing. And the thing that we are really excited and passionate about is roller skates.
Nerd Roller Skates.
Official skate shop, Men's Roller Derby World Cup 2016.
For people who roll.
I am your fortress on the front line of sport. Engineered to be stronger than the attack. I defy convention by protecting more with less. Helping you breathe easier, hydrate faster, speak more clearly. I am Sisu, and I fend for you.